So today, you've gotten, again, things changed.
Yeah.
We're at the chamber doing great work there, and then all of a sudden, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So then, how did, first of all, the idea, and get me if I'm wrong, it's Oddfellow Photography?
Oddfellow Photography, Oddfellow Productions, yeah.
Okay, and we'll make sure we have links so people can see your work.
Cool, thank you.
First of all, how did you come up with that name, and then the idea to go that direction? And then secondly, what are you doing?
Okay, so one, my girlfriend is a model, been a model for years, is no stranger in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. And we had a trip to Ireland planned for September.
Of this year?
Of this year. That obviously didn't happen.
Sure.
Obvious reasons. But she was like, babe, we should get a camera. Let's not use phones because, once you have your phone in your hand, you're on your phone. There's a zillion other things you could do on your phone other than taking pictures.
Right.
And so having a dedicated camera, especially one that's good, is going to make the pictures better, but also prevent you from scrolling and trolling, is what I call. You ain't going to be scrolling through Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
Put that shit away. Pull out something that's dedicated for pictures, right? And so her birthday was in July, and I wanted to get her something. So I went to Target. I bought like a $450 Canon. Came with a couple lenses, a case, memory cards, or whatever. And luckily, she had a photo shoot in L.A. that she had booked with a magazine called Tableau Rouge. It was a magazine specifically for redheads.
I understand.
It is 18 and up, so...
Be careful if you go by that first issue.
Yeah, if you go and look at that, just be ready. It is definitely grown up. It's not like, lewd or anything like that, but it is definitely 18 and up. But so we went out there, and I had the camera, and I mean, man, within a few pictures, I realized, like, holy shit, I like this. Mm-hmm. Because I'm both. I like creativity, but I also like the techie stuff. So I realized with music, you have your guitar, you have your amp, but what kind of amp is it? What's the wattage of it? What type of speaker are you using? What gauge of strings are you using? How many different pole settings do you have on your guitar? Are you running effects pedals? And where are they from? Are they true bypass or are they not? People are already bored, right?
Yes, you're
definitely nerding out about it.
Yeah.
So there's that tech element of it, like
right.
What am I using and how do I use it? And then plus, how do I be creative with that knowledge, right? So and I found that transitioning from music to photography was nearly seamless. I just needed to learn my tools, and then I could practice being creative. Those first, 1,000 shots that I took were probably garbage, but I was proud of them. I was like, every picture, I was like, damn, babe, look at this. Look at that. No. She's like, that's very nice, honey. Again, there's a finger painting. We're going to put that on the fridge.
It's side of fridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but then as time goes on, I started learning about composition and lighting and all those things. So that transition was very easy. That's why photography, and that's how. It literally was like, I'm going to buy my girlfriend a camera for her birthday, but it was really mine. It was mine. Sorry, babe.
She'll never watch this. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to fast forward to this part just so she knows, so she can be like, I told you that wasn't for me. So, and then Oddfellow is because the apartment that I live in now, or that we live in, used to be the auxiliary group for the International Order of the Oddfellows.
Yeah.
Which I think
know what? I never thought of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What were they called? The Rachels? Or something like that?
Yeah, there's a unique thing there.
Yeah. So the third floor is a giant apartment now, but it's an apartment on one side and then the original ballroom with the tin ceilings, all the windows, a mirrored wall that goes all the way down. So my buddy who lives up there now is a dance instructor. Timothy, great dude, and he obviously isn't doing much in the way of dance instructing during all this stuff either. So he was kind of like, yeah, man, set up some backdrops, do whatever, take some pictures. So anyway, that's why it's Oddfellow Productions is more the commercial side of things, videography, shooting videos, and then photography is obviously still photography.
So shooting videos, we better clarify there.
Yeah.
What do you mean by shooting videos?
So with photography, you're going to be doing the standard things are weddings, families, senior portraits, newborns. Those are kind of like every small town has that photographer that specializes in that. Probably business headshots. I do those things. Probably not newborns as much, but I do like to do models. And not just because I'm like a pervy male guy. It's just that they're the ones who are the most comfortable in front of the camera. I don't have to pull a lot from them. They take instruction, but they also just they have their own thing that they like to do. And so I just capture that rather
Right.
than being like elbow up, hair back, on your tippy toes. You know, there's less instruction,
Right.
and so we get to create art together. Again, there's that group art thing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I really love so much. So I love working. A model is an artist. People judge them. They're like, oh, it must be so easy being so hot that you just like don't have to do shit. Well, models have to do a lot to look like that, but
Right.
then also get that look in camera. Okay, so for the videography thing, that's like commercials for businesses.
Okay.
It could be what we call a talking heads video. So that's going to be a politician that needs to be like, I'm the right choice for you. And it's like 1 or 2 cameras on this one person delivering a message. It could be tabletop photography or tabletop videography. So we're doing one product. So if there's a whiskey commercial, but you don't see people talking about it, you just see hands pouring whiskey and the ice cubes fall in, all that kind of stuff. So it's commercial videography. That's what it is. We make videos for online, television, those sorts of formats.
And how's it been? I mean, because again, we're not in a metropolitan, huge city.
Right.
And again, we've already talked about how, you know, again, when we generalize and say the typical small business doesn't, you know, allot for a budget
Yeah.
to have high production, high quality marketing content created. How has it been so far since you started that portion of the business to get some traction?
5 years ago, I worked for our local paper, and I sold ads.
Now, see that I never knew that.
Yeah, I worked for the local paper. It was a media network is what they called it, but it was a fancy term for, hey, fill up all our ads on this newspaper, right?
Got you.
They made you
Okay.
feel really good. You're an account executive. Sounds very official, but it's really just like, hey, make us money and we'll pay you, I don't know, close to
Something.
the bare minimum. But so at first I was gung-ho, as anybody is. When you start a new job, you're like, I'm in this. I'm going to kick its ass. I'm going to show the editor who the real MVP is here, right? And what I found is I would make these advertising campaigns to the tune of anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 total for the year,
Gotcha.
whole year,
Yeah. One client.
one client.
Yeah.
But that's half the salary of someone getting paid $15, $16 an hour.
Right.
That's half the
Right.
salary of somebody at that rate. But how else are you going to get out there? Advertising is so important, and advertising is the devil. I know why people say that. Like, it gets in the consumer's head, and it robs the business owner of their money. There's a lot of negative things around advertising, but if you scoot those to the side for a second, it is just content and brand awareness, and it is supremely important.
It's
right?
different now, right?
And it's different, but most business owners aren't prepared for the cost. Well, my nephew's got an iPhone 12, and he said he'd do it for $100. Well, let's see what your nephew can do for $100.
Yep.
Or you can look at the $2,500 production company and see what they can provide you.
Yep.
Does quality matter? To many people, yes, it does, but it's subconscious. It's not like the average consumer is like, wow, I bet the DP was very good on that, and they directed this commercial very well. I like the lighting, very nice. Yes, they don't care about that stuff.
The secret yellow bulbs.
Yeah, exactly. We have some, and as they'll see on this, we've got some white light, and then we've got yellow light.
Right.
It's not the greatest, but it's better than what it was, right?
Right.
So they don't know that stuff. So it's definitely difficult in a smaller town when you say, hey, this is going to be $1,500 or this is going to be $3,500. But here's why. It's hard to convey.
See, I think you're placed right, because no matter what, it's either going to be accept or die,
Yeah.
adapt or die,
Yeah.
play or die.
Yep.
And so I think you have your business placed properly. And I'm sure you're still building business structure, business plan, business, you know, all the things that make an actual business,
Learning as
and
we go.
not a side hustle.
Correct.
You know, that make a business. And you're in place when we're going to have widespread. I think we're going to have widespread acceptance and utilization of those techniques going forward. Here's my fear. And this is where I think that your business, if you want to stand out and be, more in the crowd, you know, be the unique, is more and more of us small businesses start utilizing services like yours, and we all are creating professional content, we're going from being the one standing out to being back in the middle of the group again.
That's right.
So being on that front line of, okay, everybody's doing it now. Okay, now everybody's coming along, and now everybody's doing 30-second professional videos.
Yep.
What's the next thing? How do we stay ahead of that? Because that's where you're going to provide long-term staying power, where you're going to have long-term value, and you can crank that margin on your business. Hey, they might do 1,500, or my nephew might do it for 100, but for 2,500, this is my rate of return when we enter the marketplace. Here's why you stand out. Here's why we're different. And I just have this feeling we're going to go through a stage here. And again, the thing I don't know is what's that time lapse? Are we going to go through first 12 more months of cell phone videos and grainy raw content?
Yes.
Or is it going to be a little faster consumption where we say, hey, Tony, come in and make me look better than I am. Help me send a message that I want to send that I'm no good at sending. How soon do we make that tipping point? And then after that, how long is it until everybody's doing that and then we have to be off to the next damn thing?
It's a great question, honestly. And first and foremost, people are going to utilize the most cost-effective thing first, always.
Sure.
And lucky for them, the iPhone 12 is badass.
It's a damn good camera.
It's badass. And it makes photographers and videographers everywhere shudder a little bit. We're like, oh, damn it. Damn it. But at the end of the day, there are great guitar players in the world who smoke. I mean smoke. Like, when they play, you listen, right? But they're not storytellers.
Got you.
Storytelling.
They're mechanics.
Okay, so let's pretend in a world where the Bible, and I know this is we're stepping in some dangerous territory.
We're 2 glasses in, so it's good.
There's some theological landmines where I'm about to step here. But let's pretend for a moment that the Bible is just some stories that were handed down to teach humanity a lesson. Why did they last so long? It's a good damn story, isn't it? It's a damn good story.
Yep.
And it matters to
Marketing
generation.
101.
Yep, look at the Bible. Look at the Quran. Whether it's your shit or not, look at the Four Noble Truths by Buddhism. That shit's been around for hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years. I've lived 35, and that feels like forever. Thousands of years. Take the notes. Good storytelling is everything. And so if you go to the car dealership and I'm going to sell them a commercial, and I say, look, Bill, we need to do a commercial. We need to make you stand out. What makes you different than every other car company? And he says, well, we offer rock bottom prices at fast turnarounds. And it's like, well, Bill, I got bad news for you. That's you and every other fucking car dealership ever. Exactly. You are not different. Yep. You're not different.
You're one of the group.
Your question, to be more pointed about it, is when is that transition from phone to camera, production company, nephew to professional? I think professionals are going to know how to pull that authenticity out of the business owner. That's our job. The job as a photographer is to make someone feel comfortable. If I do boudoir photography, that is a woman and scantily clad, but it's just your everyday woman. It's not a model. It's not a woman who spent her life modeling. This is just a woman who's like, I want to get my husband something like, ooh, kind of sexy for Christmas.
Right.
My job as the photographer to make her feel so beautiful and so comfortable in front of that camera.
Understand.
That's my job. So as a video production, director, DP, whatever the fancy titles we give ourselves is, my job is to make you be authentic. Tell your story. Don't tell me we offer 0% financing for 12 months. That's
Sunday.
Exactly. That is literally every single car dealership ever in the history of ever.
Yep.
That's not unique.
Yep.
But my job is to pull whatever it is that's unique about your business out and capture it, edit it in a way that makes sense, that's palatable for the average viewer, put it to some music that's very nice, and keep it under 30 seconds. That's my job. Does your nephew know how to do that? Maybe. But, I've been burned recently. I mean, I had a pretty sizable paycheck ready to go. Did it again, didn't it? That's all right. Fourth wall. So I had a pretty sizable paycheck, and then I got canned for the guy from the local church who was going to do it for free. And that's always going to happen. But quality is one thing, like the lighting in here right now, the quality of the cameras and all these things. That's great, but we could do this with a cell phone as long as the content is good.
Exactly
Content is king.
Yep.
Storytelling is king. So as far as my production company goes, our job is not just to bring in, oh, look at my $5,000 camera
Yep.
and like all our lights. That,
Yep.
yeah, we're bringing $15,000 worth of gear to a shoot, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't mean shit. We're telling the story.
A week ago, got called into a nonprofit, and I will not mention names.
Okay.
And they have the most beautiful Facebook page you've ever seen. They just created a brand new website. Beautiful. I mean, whoever did the actual work to create the production, beautiful. Beautiful. So then I asked one question. I was introduced. Hey, Eric's gonna, ask us some questions, help us out with our marketing, because we don't have money coming in. All nonprofits right now. We're fighting every other nonprofit for no money.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's ask the young lady to pull up the website on the screen. I said, is this not first class, beautiful production?
Yep.
I said, one question. Will you get out your credit card right now because you looked at that website and input your credit card data and make a contribution today? Because now remember, you guys believe in this with your heart, soul, and everything that you are. You believe in your cause, your mission. You're reaching out to people that have never heard about you before. Now you read that. Now you look at that. It's beautiful, professional, clean.
Yep.
I mean, I could never create something like that was created.
Mm-hmm.
As far as production quality.
Right.
It will not make one freaking cent.
Nope.
Not 1 cent. So you said content.
Content's king.
So content isn't just turning on my phone and talking.
No.
So I want you to give some clarity to content. What is when you say content drives action of some kind. Content drives a feeling of some kind. Content drives emotion of some kind. Content, if it's content, has some type of a response to it. But I want to hear when you say content, because all you have to do is watch YouTube for 10 seconds. Everybody's now an influencer. Everybody's now a content creator.
That's right.
But not all content is created equally.
No, it's not.
What do you mean by when you say content?
What I mean, and again, I don't mean to be so macro about things.
That's kind of where we're at though today.
Yeah, we're looking at the big picture.
Right,
this is
right.
big picture stuff.
Right.
Storytelling has mattered to human beings forever and ever and ever. Let's say we've been watching a movie and a cowboy has teamed up with an Indian of all pairs, right? Mm-hmm. And they have a young child they're supposed to keep after. I've already painted this picture, right? You're in it. You're in it. You're ready, right?
I'm in, yeah.
I've already painted the setting. Yep. It's easy.
I'm the Lone Ranger, dude. You're Tonto. Just so you know.
I'll be Tonto.
So
That's fine. That's fine. And we sit around the fire, and what happens? There's a scene in the movie where the characters, the Native American and the cowboy are there with this child they're supposed to protect who's neither cowboy nor Native American, but we've teamed up to help protect this child, right? And of course, there's a scene in the movie where there's a fire, it's at night, it's cold, we're in the middle of the desert, and we're traveling, right? Well, a story happens. That's the perfect setting for a story.
Right.
Why? Human beings love stories. We love living a different life than our own through somebody else. We love it. That's why we'll binge 5 seasons of something on Netflix. We love it. My girlfriend and I are doing it right now. We're watching Better Call Saul. Highly recommend it as a follow-up to Breaking Bad if you haven't seen it. A little shout out there, Vince Gilligan. If you need a DP, I'm available for hire. But what I will say is we love story. So it doesn't matter if you're selling the most boring thing ever. Maybe you're selling copiers. Everybody needs copiers. There's no reason to sell it. No, you're selling Xerox. What are you going to do? Right? Everyone needs it. But what's the story?
Right.
Paint a picture for that person. If you're selling your services as a business, What are you going to tell your consumer? We love stories. That's the single most important thing. And
what is it the story does, though? I think that's the important thing to pass on here. What is the story doing?
It allows us to live vicariously through somebody else, or it appeals to something that we think we need. You know, if you're selling cars, everybody needs a damn car. Nobody's walking or riding horse and carriage anymore.
Tires, brakes, steering wheel.
Everything.
Out of the elements. They all have them, right?
They all have
Why
them.
yours?
Why yours? That's correct. So you have to just connect with somebody, you know? And in the old like Ford versus Chevy thing, it still exists, but it's less than it was even when I was a kid. I remember that was a big deal. But like, oh,
you ain't been on the farm for a while. We still talk about that.
You still talk about that? Okay, it's been a while since I've thrown some hay bales. I'm not gonna lie, but that was a hot topic back when I was doing that, and it doesn't matter because they're mostly manufactured overseas now. I hate to break it to you farmers. I'm gonna look right at the camera when I say I hate to break it to you, but they ain't manufactured here no more. They're manufactured by the same Chinese companies. Sorry. So you know what I mean? Like, so you have to connect with your consumer. If you don't take that time to just be personal, put your guard down. Yes, your commission depends on it. Yes, this customer buying this product, that's the future of your business. We get it. But cool it with the hard sell. My generation, and I know we're talking about the people with money and the older generations, the silver hairs, the blue hairs. Don't take offense. I'm going to be there before you know it. They have the money. That's true.
Always been that way too.
It's always been that way because they've got their retirement ready. They've got but guess what? My generation that's coming up right now, I'm 35. I was the last generation to play outside before the internet. We still rode bikes. We still play baseball, so on and so on and so on. We don't buy it. We have seen every single advertising trick there is to play on people. We're going to appeal to your heartstrings. Those old Sprint commercials or Hallmark commercials. Where when it's over, you're like this. You're like, oh, that makes me miss my grandma.
Yeah.
You know, that shit don't work on us no more.
Nope. Got to be 78.
No. You have to try something new to get through to us. And I think this might be the Scotch talking, but I think it's just honesty. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being tricked. We're tired of being sold to. Every time we turn around, there's an ad on our phone. There's an ad on the billboard. There's an ad on TV. There's an ad before the YouTube video we want to watch. There's an ad in the newspaper, ad in the magazine. Like, you should be annoyed by how many times I just said ad in the. You should be, because it's everywhere. That's the money.
Well, this is the question then. So if I want to sell you, I need to sell you. And sell is a dirty word.
It really is. To my generation especially.
Sell means that I am giving you a small amount of money, value for your big stack of money.
That's right.
Small amount of value, big stack of money.
Feels like a con job.
A con job. So how do I, like if there was a few things that you could pass along, that what is the easy way, the sell without selling, my favorite tagline. What is the sell without selling strategy for your generation?
One, don't pick a product that matters to you. Like, well, I really love this, so I'm going to sell this. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. If your product is worthless, it's worthless. Don't sell dumb shit. If I could be, you know what I mean? And take a step back. Be really, really honest with yourself. And that's okay. If that amounts to a failure, like we talked about earlier, if that's a failure sort of thing, or like I tried to sell this and it didn't work, don't take it personally. You just tried to sell some shit that was worthless to a wide variety of people, right? Be authentic. If it's something I need, if I need a water filter for my faucet sink, I'm going to pick the best one. And Pure, I think it's Pure, P-U-R, whatever, Brita, Pure and Brita. They're the big dogs. And if you're going to try to fight against them, yours better be so vastly different or cost effective.
Right.
And you just need to be directive. My competition is this, and I am this. And we have the same exact quality, if not better, by our product. I might be like, oh, shit, okay. I don't want to give my money to, because my generation especially, we don't like conglomerates. We don't like multi-billionaires. We don't. And that's bad news for the Jeff Bezoses of the world, even though I'm sure he's doing fine. We don't like that. So if you have something that's going to like take down the big guy, that's another thing that's going to win you over for the next generation. And I'm going to be real honest about that. That's real. That's as real as it gets. People older than me, they like the establishment. They like the old way, the way of the 80s and the 90s.
Sure.
My generation and younger, we don't want to feed the pig anymore.
Right.
We don't want to feed the biggest of the biggest. We want to take care of the small people. So if you have something that can topple the big dogs, do it.
So if I'm a small business owner, which again, street smart business,
Okay.
we're down, we're supposed to be unfiltered, we're transparent, we're giving explicit at sometimes business advice, down here in the trenches, how it actually works. So what I am hearing is, I hear from all small businesses all the time, I can't compete with Walmart. I can't compete with Target.
Yep.
I can't compete with Cabela's.
That's right.
But what I'm hearing is your generation and younger than you, you're not the youngest anymore, dude. Sorry to break it to you.
I got this gray on my goatee. They can see it clearly. The white light shining directly on my silver hairs.
That you're desirous to do business with somebody else other than Target, Walmart, Cabela's.
That's right. ExxonMobil, whoever.
But that doesn't mean just because you're small, just because you're in a small town, just because you're on a back street, that you automatically get my business. So there's still other things that, even though big versus small, we have a story we can connect to that brings us back to our roots as people, no matter what. There's still something that they have to provide value-wise. There's got to be a need that they solve, a problem that they solve. Can you speak to that just for a minute?
There are leaders and there are employees. I'm going to make this as brief as possible. I feel like I've been superfluous this entire time. I'm going to be very brief. There are leaders and there are followers. Okay? Now, if I'm going to buy a guitar, there's only so many guitar manufacturers, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to buy it based on the fact that you know what you're talking about and you are personable to me. If you are a business owner and you grunt or groan or roll your eyes every time someone walks through the door because you're assuming they're going to be a pain in the ass.
Right.
You're assuming they're going to not
ask all the questions
and just take all your time, then stop and go be an employee right
Preach.
now.
Yes.
Stop and go be an employee.
Yes.
That might be the most important thing I've said this entire
interview. Underline it.
Yep.
Note it. Yeah.
You are not a business owner.
Yep.
It might seem appealing because you might be able to take those vacations to Cancun because you take on all the stress of payroll taxes and keeping everybody in order and making the schedule and blah, 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 whatever it is your role and title is. If you can't handle the customer coming in and if you're not ready to put on that show, it's showtime when they walk through that door. It's showtime.
What's it cost to get that person to walk through the freaking door?
Your time.
Is that easy? I mean,
yes, it is easy. And some people might say, no, it's not easy. You got to be, no. It is very easy. Be a fucking human being. Sorry, I hate to say, I don't mean to drop so many F-bombs, and you can bleep them if you need to. But be a human being.
Right.
That person's walking through your door. You should be grateful.
Yep.
This is like a Christmas Carol, the Ghost of Christmas Past and the Ghost of Christmas Future. They've come to you. Don't be Scrooge.
Right. They have no problem writing a check for $1,000 to throw a little 4x4 ad in the paper that nobody reads, nobody responds to, nobody walks through. That's fine. But somebody that we don't even know how we generated their interest walks through our door.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden we don't know, we haven't scripted, we haven't prepared, we haven't went through the process. Remember we talked about the Zoom meetings of how can we make that seem like a live event? It's not a live event.
No.
But how can we get and draw as many emotions, as many feelings, as many as attachments as we can out of that event? How come when they walk through the door, that's not already thought about? When they come in, what's the smell? When they come in, what do they see?
That's right.
When they come in, what do they touch? What does it feel like? Have we thought about that?
It's an experience. I used to have this book called The Gentleman's Handbook. I don't even know when it was written. It was old as sin and it smelled like mothballs, but I kept it in my
So where'd you get that?
It was an auction. My mom and dad were auctioneers. They loved auctions, and they would get these crates of books, and one of them was The Gentleman's Handbook. And it's so simple. When they walk through, hi.
Yep.
I'm Tony. How are you today? You doing good? Thanks for coming in. What can I do for you? Be interested in why they're there. People love the sound of their own name. And if I could give one piece of advice, read the book How to Win Friends and Influence Others.
We'll have the link in there. Everybody should own it.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is 101. That's like learning 2 + 2.
You shouldn't be allowed to own a business until you read the book.
Correct. I would say that. I would honestly say that. And it's a little dictatorial, but I think the government should make that mandatory.
Yep.
That might be a little too like dictatorship.
It's written before all the stuff that we take that we use today was even existed.
That's
we
right.
didn't have social media. We didn't have all these other platforms.
It's Dale Carnegie, right?
Yeah, Dale
In, like,
Carnegie.
The 40s.
You know how much money
like
his company made doing live on-site training seminars with that? How to Win Friends and Influence. I mean, gazillions of dollars were paid.
Yep.
But like everything else, just like this podcast, if people haven't tuned out already, which we've given plenty of reason.
Yeah, we have.
We've nerded it.
They're gone.
We're having some bourbon. We've had F-bombs. We give them every reason. But if they don't take one thing out of this and actually act on it, implement it, put it into their daily practice, waste of your time. They should shut it off now.
Yep.
They should never buy the book. They should never read the book. It has to be something that they take action on. You know, nothing in this world happens. Nothing happens until you do something.
That's right.
You know, I have plenty of scholarly business acquaintances. Have read more books than I have. I've read probably over 1,000 easy.
Same.
Probably 1,500.
Same.
You know, but unless you take action, all that stuff doesn't mean anything. Nothing.
Without action.
Yes. So Carnegie, I mean, in practice, that should be something that should be standard operating procedure for every business.
But why is that? Let's go into why. Someone walks into your business, it's being polite. It's what your grandpa would tell you to do. Look someone in the eye, shake their hand, and care about them. Yeah. That's all we ever want.
Can you do that on Facebook?
There are ways.
Yes, you have to work at it, like Zoom.
It's different.
When you get somebody in, that's worth more.
Yeah.
When somebody reaches out to you on Facebook, I would take the dude in my store that I can interact with personally.
Because that's what you're used to.
Dude, all day long.
That's what you're used to.
Yes.
That's the world you're coming from. But I would have to say that the world is going towards this virtual remote thing. So it's do or die. There's that flexibility thing. Yep. You have to find a way to connect with somebody through vast differences. You're connecting through a cable modem.
Yep.
Through a laptop screen and a webcam that looks shitty and is like kind of like off time. Like I move this way.
Or a camera that keeps shutting off.
Yeah, or a camera that keeps shutting off. That is the reality of where we're at. But why is that book so important? How to Win Friends and Influence Others? Because it's basics. We as business owners, we get so caught up in where's my value? Where's my profit margin? What's my cost of doing business? Where's my taxes at? Where's my QuickBooks? Who am I hiring as an accountant? Do I have insurance? There's a lot of questions, a lot of blanks to fill in, a lot of things to check off your to-do list. And we forget the most important thing, which is connect with your buyer. Yep. Who is your buyer? And they're a human being, I guarantee it. You're not selling to some alien from Tremalfador 5.
Yep.
And I know that's nerdy as
hell.
Even
if
but
you're
like
B2B, business to business, you're still people to people.
It's people to people.
Yep.
I hate B2C and B2C. I hate those terms.
Yep.
I hated them in
Same
the
here.
chamber, and
Same
I hate
here.
them now.
Same here.
It is P2P, person to person. Whether it's a CEO or Bill and Mary, the insurance buyers, or whatever it is Bill and Mary are there to buy. You are selling to human beings, and we have been sold to for generations from newspaper. Well, it used to be door to door.
Oh, for sure.
I miss the days, and I wasn't even there for it, but I miss it anyway, where a senator or a congressperson
canvassed.
They had to go town to town in a horse-drawn carriage in the sweltering sun, dabbing their forehead, working their ass off to get those votes.
How would that go today, Tony?
Oh, they wouldn't make it. And I promise you, Trump and Biden, they wouldn't have made it.
Yep.
They're prissy. They have lived on the velvet pillow their entire lives, and they would have failed right away. Yep. And I hate to break it to anybody who supports either of those candidates, but they wouldn't make it. You had to go,
different world.
Here we're traveling for this candidate, da-da-da-da-da, and like this town in Kansas, this town in Oklahoma, this town in Utah, this town in Vermont. Like they had to go and work their ass off for those votes. But now, lucky you, because just like them, the business owner, you can put yourself out on the internet. Yep. And I know it's annoying. I know it sucks that people can't come into your business, and when they do, they have to wear masks. I know it sucks.
Yep.
It's different. and it's weird. And it feels like a weird sci-fi movie. But it's here, and it's here to stay.
Yep.
Deal with it. Figure out a way to connect with that person. How much different is it when you can't see my mouth move? And what happens if you can't see my eyes? Can you connect with me? It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
different.
Yep.
But human beings are resilient. We built the pyramids. We built the interstate. We built capitalism. Right?
Sure.
Like, we are resilient creatures. So no matter what gets thrown at us, we can do this. And as small business owners, we are the bread and butter of the U.S. economy.
The motor, the engine of the world.
We are. We are 5 out of the 6 pistons. One of those pistons, is Exxon and Pfizer and Lockheed Martin. Yeah, they get lots of money. But at the end of the day, the average person is the motor. We are the engine.
Yep.
And if you sit there and gripe and complain about what the current circumstances are, it's always going to be something. It's either going to be World War I or World War II or the Great Depression or the Korean War or the Vietnam War or what else?
Yeah.
The list goes on and on
The
and on.
holiday season.
It's everything.
Yeah, now we got spring break.
Yep. Oh.
Now the kids are off for summer.
Every year it's like this.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself as a business owner and you're bitching and complaining about things, you're in the wrong business. Go be an employee. Go be someone else's employee. You are not in a position to be a leader. True leaders take those changes and they face them and they overcome them. And they might fail. That takes us back to one of our earlier points where you're going to fall on your face publicly.
I think I contend that that's why there's a lack of leadership now in society, is because everything is so public. Everything is so fast to press. The news cycle is every 10 minutes. That I think that's why there is a lack of leadership. Because, I don't want to put myself out there and state my ultimate belief and my ultimate and then all of a sudden I fail.
Everyone's going to see me fail.
Yeah.
What happens?
And here's if there's a call to street smart business owners, it is that people are starving to be led. They're dying to be led. Now, again, that doesn't mean that they're sheep. That's wrong. That is 100% wrong. What they are is loyal. What they are is driven. But they just need somebody to point them in the right direction and know that they're on the knowledge that they're on the right path. Or if they're on the wrong path, they're not alone.
That's right. No, that's really astute.
Starving for leadership. So now we have a small business owner who's now been screwed over by whoever, governor, health department, whoever. Did I mention that I'm not big fan of our governor?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
Please tell me more. Okay.
Well, let's make that in the show notes. So we'll put that in there. There is a petition out now that you can sign. We need 100,000 signatures on to get your state house representative to co-sponsor the impeachment articles on our governor.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I will put that in the show notes, by the way.
Wow.
But anyways, the point is, everybody is dying to be led, to have somebody with conviction to. Why was Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington? Why did these people have people that would lay their life down without even thinking for them? Because they had a conviction of belief, and they themselves were willing to do the same exact act, do the exact same sacrifice as they were asking their followers to do. It wasn't, you do it for me so I can rise and you can, I can stand on your dead carcass so I can step higher. It was, I'm willing to go too. I'm willing to go too. I'm a business owner today. I'm willing to go too. I'm willing to be open. I'm willing to come to your house to deliver my goods and services. I know there may be a risk. I know that you may be scared. I may be scared. I'm willing to do it with you, side by side. We live together, we die together. I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
That is a message today that if it was taken on by any business, I can't even speak to the amount of money that would flow. There is a counterculture outside of mainstream media, outside of Hollywood, outside of what the popular group think is, if you pull up a popular website like Yahoo, Google, or whoever.
Sure, MSN.
That says that I believe in our country. I believe in capitalism. I believe that ultimately in our soul, we're all good people. I believe that we're all truly care about other people. I believe that I go to work every day to serve, not just to get rich on your back. You know, there is a huge group of people that believe that.
Yeah.
But nobody is standing up and saying from the mountaintops, I'm with you. I'm the guy. We're in it together.
Is scary. Leadership is scary, man.
Huge.
Because if you fuck up, it's your ass. And it's your ass publicly, big time.
Yep.
And Simon Sinek, one of my favorite dudes. I mean, I've probably watched everything he
Yeah,
has
I'm a
out
fan.
there.
I'm a fanboy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm a fanboy. and I just recently read one of his books called Leaders Eat Last.
Yep.
Leaders
again, should be mandatory.
Last.
Yep.
You eat last.
Yep.
Whether that's your employees
Yep.
or your consumer, your client. You eat last.
Yep.
And there's a contract. There's a contract between like big government, big business, and the average person. And that contract is, I will give my life to you. And what is my life? Let's clarify that too. My life as an employee or as an employer is my time.
Oh, sure.
I have X amount of time on earth.
Yep.
And only God knows what that is. That could be 93 years, 3 months, 2 days, 4 hours, and 27 seconds. That might be my life.
Right.
That is what I have to give. That is the most valuable currency I have to offer the economy.
Yep.
That's it. That's my whole life.
Yep.
And I will, and most people, if they are an employee, are okay with that exchange. Most people want a leader.
That is true.
Not everybody wants to be a leader because we all kind of know in the back of our mind, being a leader is a pain in the ass. You field all the questions. You field all the complaints. You are responsible if shit fucks up.
Yep.
But you also take the credit for when shit goes great.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is a hell of a position to be in.
Yep.
And most people are okay with that. I'm an employee or I'm an employer. That's it.
Yep.
But there's one caveat. And that caveat is if I break that contract as an employer, most people are like, I will give my life to you. My most precious resource. I will give you my time. There's nothing more valuable to me or my family on this earth other than my time. My time with myself, my time with my wife or my husband, my time with my kids. That is the most important time. And I will give it to you as long as I know that you're going to take care of me. That's presidents, that's CEOs, that's bosses, supervisors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's real talk. That's straight from Simon Sinek. I will give that to you. And it's yours to take. But if at any point I feel like you're violating that contract and you're doing it for you at the sacrifice, at the expense of me and my values, look the fuck out. Because that's revolution territory. That's when I will tear your business down. I will tear your government down. If you're not looking out for me and my family, that's the deal. And that's thousands of years old.
Now, how complicated is that?
It's very simple. And we try to make it complex. I was a political science major. Trust me, they try to make it complex, but it is very simple.
I knew that. I kind of figured that about you, actually.
Really?
Yeah, you have. I kind of get that feeling. You got sweaty and
love
goosebumps.
politics. I love control. I love the boss and I love the worker. But what I tell people, and this is controversial, and I've been in trouble. I'm Republican, Democrat, conservative, Republican. I've got a lot of different types of friends from my travels in this world.
Sure.
And I've been lambasted for this statement. Pharaohs and slaves, kings and peasants, presidents and blue collars. That's the deal. You're either a slave, a peasant, or a blue collar, or a pharaoh, a king, or a president. And that's okay. It's not something to be mad about. Most people understand that that's how it works. There's the queen bee and there are the worker bees. That's nature. That's God made. God made that shit. The universe made that shit. Whatever you believe in, that just exists. And that's okay. But do not violate that contract. I will be your employee and I will show up every day at 8 a.m. I will work my ass off. I will do the things I need to do to make this business grow and thrive. But do not at any point make me feel like I am less than you that you don't have my best interest at heart, because I'm giving you the most important resource of my life.
Right.
My time. You know how many economic development meetings I've sat in where I hear these CEOs talking about, we got jobs, and they're good jobs. Well, how much is that an hour? Well, $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Is $15 an hour enough for you to move from Muncie, Indiana to Norwalk, Ohio?
Right. No.
No. You're not moving you, your wife, and your 2 kids for $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Ted.
Yep.
Sorry, dude. It ain't happening.
Yep.
That's not good money. It was great money in 1995.
Right.
1995, you pay me $15 an hour. Well, I might think about it.
Big pimping.
Yeah, I'm big pimping. I might even buy that new Ford F-150 they've been talking about. That's different. But we're talking about 2020, and we're about to be 2021.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording.
Yep. The wasted year.
The wasted year.
To most people.
As a business owner, 2 things. Respect your employees and respect your customers. Mm-hmm. And if you're coming from that angle, you will not lose. Mm-hmm. Especially if you follow the other advice we've given, which is be flexible and never stop learning. Mm-hmm. Be flexible, never stop learning. Take care of your employees, take care of your clients. No matter what industry you're in, you will succeed if that is your motive. Even if you're selling dog shit to a woman in white gloves. It doesn't matter.
Ice to an Eskimo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, we wasted not wasted, but we spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours here chit-chatting, and we could summarize it all back to just be human.
Be a human being.
Just give a crap. Be authentically concerned. Always put somebody else before yourself if at all possible. You know, and then do your best. Deliver. Live up to your word. Live up to your commitments. Be who you're supposed to be.
Amen.
You know, as we sit here in the business bunker somewhere south of Norwalk, Ohio, in the middle of the ice age that we have going on today.
True.
You know, we've went from, and this was a solo entrepreneur business, and, you know, now we've built a team of, 5-6 individuals now on top of the solopreneur that was here. And none of that could happen just because of me. It's all leveraging and being that front man to all the different talents that I need a drummer in my band. I need a lead guitar player in my band. I need a keyboard player in my band. I need somebody to help me write the music. I need somebody to give me some lyrics.
That's right.
But I'm the guy that everybody in the building counts on to put it all together and make it something that the public wants to consume.
That's right.
2 hours.
2 hours it took us to convey all that.
Done. Well, here's a couple of things that I want to make sure we talk about before we go. And I know I've captured you forever. You're probably going to be in Sweet Honey jail when you get home.
No, that's fine.
But that I really don't care.
No.
Because again, we talked about empathy and authenticity and transparency, and I just blew that out of the water by keeping you. So
no, she's cool,
it's good enough for you, but not good enough for me. So that's where
she'll be all right.
So again, because I know, again, we've had lots of these conversations and lots of these talks, and we get way off the beaten path sometimes.
Digression is good sometimes.
Let's just take a moment and think. You have a daughter, and again, we're not going to get into specifics of that. It's nobody's business.
Now.
No comment. No comment from me. I'm not talking about. There's a lot of estrogen in your house right now. I'm not going to lie. I live there. I mean, I've been there. Thank God things went right and the genetic DNA thing all happened, and I got my son was the youngest and came to help me carry the water there.
Thank God for balls. Sorry, ladies.
It's a small thing.
It's rough for a guy.
It's a small thing. Well, anyways, you have, and here's the fear I have, and this is what a lot of things that have crossed my mind this last year, is I know I'm going to be okay. I'm not scared. I'm not fearful. I know that no matter what happens during the last year, the next 10 years, whatever, I will be fine. And while I'm alive, my kids will be fine. Hmm. But there's a day when you and I won't be here.
That's right.
So if you could share, again, all the videos of your music, this podcast.
Sure.
We've shit-canned it all. We've been censored by YouTube. We've been censored by, Instagram and Facebook. They all took us off because we cursed, or talked about balls or whatever. They took us off. Mm-hmm. But yet we want to pass along something of value that we know is a game changer. We know that if our kids would listen to us for once, that if they followed this advice from us, their odds of success would be exponentially greater than their peer group, what would that be in your mind?
Life is a war between life and death. Death is the ultimate equalizer. Everyone is going to die, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how weak you may be. Death is the ultimate equalizer. So, in your life, this is what I would teach my children. And this was taught to me by a mentor. And me and that mentor don't even get along anymore. But this is one thing I took from that person that I will carry for the rest of my life. And that's the Calvary ain't coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Calvary ain't coming. Nobody's coming to your rescue. Nobody's going to come and wipe your ass. Nobody is going to come and lift you up when you fall down. That is your job. So if you have a small business, you got an art project, you got a relationship that's failing, nobody's going to swoop in and be like, oh, Tiffany and John, your relationship is failing. I am the fairy godmother of love, and I'm going to save you. That shit ain't happening.
Right.
It is your job to enhance the quality of your life, the life of your lover, and the life of your children, thus the life of your family. Same as a business. Nobody's coming to save the day. Oh, I wish things were the way they were in 1984. That was great. That was the best year for us. Well, sorry, John. That ain't happening.
Right.
That's my line. That's what I'll close this with. The Calvary ain't coming. It ain't happening. No one's coming to your rescue. That is your job. Know where you are, know where you've been, and try to guess to the best of your ability where you're going. And guide your team in that direction, because it's on you.
Right.
Nobody's gonna be there to pick you up and tell you to keep walking again.
True.
If you fall, it's your job to get up and keep walking.
Right. Yep. There's no question that, when craziness happens, it brings all those, especially when you start getting more of the gray hair, you start thinking about retrospectively, what if this would have happened, and I was a business owner at 21, or 24, or I hadn't failed the 8 gazillion times I've failed in life today, to know that there ain't nothing that can happen today that's going to ruin me, that'll break me. There's no government, there's no man, there's no woman, there's no company. I ain't afraid of nobody. Because of the 8 gazillion failures I've already had and have already survived them by bigger, better, scarier, right? We've been blessed. In this age, in 2020, 2019, 2018, go back the last 10 years, we've been blessed. Life is easy. Plenty of food, plenty of knowledge, plenty of money.
Sure.
Generally speaking, again, I know there are those that aren't as blessed. I understand that. I acknowledge that.
Happens.
Yep, for sure. But what I'm saying is, as a culture, as a country, we are beyond strong, beyond resilient, and we are beyond blessed. But we are also beyond lazy now.
Yeah.
Because, again, generally speaking, I see heroes every day. I see hard workers every day. I see 80 hours a week every week. I see that. It's out there still. But generally speaking, we've become very complacent. Complacent with the opportunities we've been given, complacent with the blessings that we've been given, and complacent with the opportunity that we've been given.
Yeah.
Complacent. Like it's always going to be there. Like it's always been there. So that's what I try to impart, in any message to any group, to any of my kids, to anybody I consult, is that no other time in my career have I noticed that things are fleeting. There still can be had. They still can be owned. They still can be attained. But there's going to have to be, it's not a given now. It's not an automatic now. We've had years in this economy where if you showed up, dude, if you just showed up.
That was the minimum requirement.
Showed up and were at least half-ass or better, you were good.
Yeah.
That's not that way today.
No. And right after the Second World War, going into the Korean War and into Vietnam, that was a good time for the United States, man. We made a lot of fucking money off of World War II.
The economy expanded at an exponential pace that may never be seen again.
And it's the word of 2020, which is unprecedented. Unprecedented growth right after World War II. And that's what happened. But and you know, and it's just not like that anymore. And the technocrats have taken over, and no matter what tinfoil hat conspiracies you believe in, virtual reality, augmented reality, and thus the internet reality is now the standard. And if you don't play ball, you might as well hang your hat up and go home.
Right.
Call it a day.
Well, one thing, again, we don't want to bring this to a conclusion on a
downer. That's right.
But what I think that's been presented is there's a huge opportunity here.
Huge.
That anybody.
It's a Wild West. That's
there's new land to claim. New land to claim.
That's
there's
exactly
new stakes
right.
To claim.
That's exactly right.
There's a whole country to be conquered yet.
There's two different types of people. One that says when they hear whispers and tales like, oh, there's land west of the Mississippi. There's land out there, and it could be yours.
There's gold in them there hills.
Dream. What happens if I'm the one who settles that land? I make the town. I name the town.
Right.
None of us ever think about that shit. What if you name a town? Right. You name the whole damn thing. Yep. And you have control over most of the roads that go through there.
Yep.
This is the Wild West of business. And Gary Vee has been screaming it for 5 damn years, maybe more.
Yep.
And a lot of those motivational guys.
How much does it cost to listen to Gary Vee?
$0.
How much does it cost to listen to Simon Sinek?
$0.
How about Tom Billio?
Well, let's reframe. Whatever the cost of internet is in your local area, that's how much it costs.
Yep.
And that goes back to what you and I were talking about, which is never stop your education and never stop being flexible. Mm-hmm. Everything we've talked about always falls back onto that. Continue your education, which is free mostly. Just make sure you have internet. You can watch a zillion friggin' entrepreneurs, a zillion creatives talk about what they do. Look at what they do. Model yourself after that.
So what's college cost a year?
Too much. I'm still paying off my college loans, and
so let's just say 30 grand. So for 30 grand, how much could you learn?
Oh my God!
From the people that are actually
doing it. That's a great
question.
That's a great question because there are actually people who are looking at the cost of college tuition and looking at people like Gary Vee, Tom Billio, Tony Robbins, and those big champions of business and motivation, and they're saying, "Well, how much is it for 1 year? Mm-hmm. How much is it for 1 year? If my kid could follow you around for 1 year as like an internship, what's that cost? Probably half." What are you going to charge for some kid to follow you around and being like, hey, what are you doing? Who are you calling? What are you texting? What are you writing in your journal? What are you writing in your date book? Mm-hmm. What time did you schedule that meeting for and why? Oh, it's because you want to make sure you have time with your wife and kids, and then you eat a good breakfast, and then you go work out, and then you're ready for the day. Okay, I'm taking notes. 15 grand for a year for what? Just letting somebody watch you?
Yep.
30 grand a year? 60 grand a year for letting somebody just watch how you live your life?
For something that's proven.
That the universities can't do.
Exactly. There's a resume.
Cannot do that. The universities are only good at the same thing the media is good at, which is indoctrinating people.
Yep.
And I hate to say it because I'm a university kid. And when I was in university, I loved it. I loved my professors. Oh my God, he's so smart. She's so smart. Right. I've learned so much, but it's just
such a deep thinker.
Yeah, exactly. And I love deep thinking.
Right.
Same here. I'm a musician. I have done some drugs in my life.
Right.
I love sitting there staring at the wall and thinking about the meaning of the universe and thinking I'm talking to God when I'm really looking at a paint fleck. But I get it, right? But at the end of the day, follow your mentors. Pick someone, just like Tony Robbins says. Pick someone who is living the life currently now that is close to something you want to live and model your life after what they've done. Right. Whether you're in real estate, construction, culinary arts, automotive, agriculture, arts, doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. It works. It works across the board. There are no specific tricks well, if you're in the automotive industry, let me tell you, well, and here, I told you that what I would tell my daughters is that the cavalry ain't coming. Mm-hmm. Here's the other piece of advice. If someone says they know the right answer, they're probably about to sell you the book.
Right.
They're about to sell you a book.
Right.
Or podcast.
Yep.
And they're full of
a
shit.
Seminar.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
Yep.
The truth has been the truth for thousands of years, and it has not changed.
Yep.
The only thing that's changed is our technology and the style we build our buildings in and the clothes that we wear. That's the only thing that's different.
Yep.
Period.
Well, dude, I appreciate you so much. And there's one thing that I want to make
Likewise.
sure that gets on the recorded podcast for sure.
Okay.
And that is, for being 35 years old, I appreciate your wisdom. Wisdom usually follows and comes along with gray hair. And, and again, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, you've probably lived 2.5, 3 years. 3 lifetimes in your current 35 years, based on the stories that I know for sure. And I just want everybody to know that, they need to check you out. They need to look you up. They need to seek you out, because the value, the eye, the vision, the focus that you can bring to their message and take it to society, take it to the general public, there is nowhere else locally or in this state that I know they could go and to easily be able to get that connection than working with Tony Schaefer, with Oddfellow Photography, Oddfellow Production Company. That will not happen anywhere else. So, as always, my friend, I am here for you. I will do anything I can for you. I appreciate you in so many ways, and I know what you've given. I know what you've sacrificed. I know the dues that you've paid. I have one last question before we quit this.
I'm ready.
How many hours does it take to go from strumming a guitar upstairs in a neighbor boy's bedroom to standing in front of a group of people and playing a song with conviction and the quality of a Freddie Mercury on crack, in delivering that type of performance? How many hours? What is the price that's paid? What has to be done?
Everybody wants that price. What's it going to cost me? What's it going to cost me? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's the figure 8 symbol. It's infinite. It never ends. If you're not in love with improving yourself and your business and the way you interact with your clients, if you are not absolutely head over heels in love with that, in love with changing your systems and the way you talk to people and the way you conduct your business, if you're not in love with that, go home. Go get a job with somebody else. Because that's it. That's the secret. You have to be in love with changing, in love with change, and in love with how you approach it, because it changes all the time.
How many times did you play the introductory riff to Back in Black, AC/DC, on your guitar?
God, so many times. So many times. And I had to play it. I had to play it 100 times just to please myself, and I had to play it another 300 times just before I called my mom in, because I was 14, and be like, Mom, you know this song.
This is from your generation.
Let me play this for you. You're gonna love this. So there's what, 500 times, and then I had to play it another 500 times before I played it in front of a group of people I didn't know. You will fail. It will suck. And that is actually, I have a YouTube channel called Creative Motivation, and that was literally the first video I did, was called Time to Suck. And it's not like, hey, everybody gather around, it's time to suck together. No, what it meant was give yourself time to suck at this. Mm-hmm. If you're a realtor, you're going to suck at it for a while. Yep. And a while might not be like, 3 or 4 months, and then I'm going to be, no. It might be 5 or 6 years of you sucking.
Right.
Not doing good. Going into the red, not the black. Like, it might suck.
Yep.
Be patient. Listen to the trends and follow the robots, because the robots have our future. Don't shun the internet. Don't shun phones. Don't shun virtual reality. Augmented reality. You know what augmented reality is? This will be my closing statement. Augmented reality
I think you've said that like 5 times now, but go ahead.
And now I'm going to finally elaborate. I blame this on him. This, I blame on him. McAllen 12, it's good. So, augmented reality is the ability to hold up your cell phone into a corner of your living room and see a chair sitting there that they want to sell you. And you get to see what it looks like in your living room.
Experience it.
Experience it. What does it actually look like? What's that new car look like in my garage or my driveway?
What does it feel like? What does it sound like?
That's right.
What does it smell like?
Before you buy it.
Right.
There is no like, take a risk on me and you can trust me, Mary Ann and John. You buy this sofa and I promise you 10 years from now, this sofa is still going to be treating your family well. That shit's over.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yep.
People want to know. And it might be crazy to some of the generation listen to this. They might be like, I don't know about this. And that's because they were alive long before the internet.
Well, we
came
have like
along.
5 followers. So, I mean, the 5 people that listen to this after we produce it,
Love
I
it.
think we're going to nail 2 of them.
Yeah,
I think
they'll be
we're
all
going to
right.
make a difference for 2 people. With that, my friend, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Let's close it.
Love you sincerely.
Love you too, man.
Street Smart Business. This is our virginal first episode. Hopefully, we will do nothing but go higher from here.
Only upward from here. We set the baseline for this.
I appreciate you. God bless America. We're blessed beyond belief.
That's right.
Sometimes we just have to stand up and take notice and be aware of it.
That's right.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Toodaloo.
Yep.